But now with God First, we leave with tons of resources on how to do it for from the aspect of a larger church to maybe one that's smaller in another like rural area.
Yeah.
And another aspect that we sometimes we overlook is the fellowship.
Yes.
Because I know when you get that email that says, God First Holy Convocation, register now, I sometimes call my friends and say, hey, which class are you taking?
Yeah, wow.
And we try to
Yeah.
talk like, hey, how can we, let's take some classes together. Let's learn together. And you draw closer to God and you draw closer to one
that's really
another.
good.
Right.
And what I love about the worship is that the worship is so dynamic and powerful that we open the doors of whatever center we may be in, whether it's Florence or Greenville, and we allow the public to come in
Yes.
and worship with us.
Yes.
And that is something that has been a new experience for me. And I have found myself inviting people. I have friends in Greenville who said, when's the next time y'all come to
Wow.
Greenville? Because I want to be there when y'all's worship starts, or I want to go to one of your sessions. And it impacts more than just the AME church now.
Yeah.
Elders and the leaders and the prophets would come together for a convocation, for an assembly annually. And when I think about the Holy Convocation, I see like all of the people from the districts as well as the different churches, those who are faith believers, they come together for this assembly, and it's like you have this Pentecostal moment where Spirit of God kind of falls fresh on everybody
Yes.
that's there, and then you see like this explosion of just things that happens. And what I appreciate a lot about the God First Holy Convocation, and nothing against other meetings I've gone to before, is that I don't feel so constrained to just be a certain type of way. Like I'm not like pressured to have to deal with all of the other types of church things that I have to deal with.
Yes.
It's like I'm here really just to kind of like be fed and be poured into. And I look forward to it every year. Like there are people who come, not just from South Carolina, like you said, they come from other places, and it's open to everybody. Like this is a moment set in time where we are praying for God to shift.
Yes.
And that, the fresh start is an opportunity for everybody, whether you're like your local church, whether you're a local church leader, whether you are just someone who's just trying to get their life together, there is something for you. Wanted to just mention briefly that we are doing this, a new seminar this year on building Black wealth, and looking at really trying to pour into families, individuals, so that we are serious about our finances, not necessarily to get rich, but to think about how we are utilizing our resources, which is a stewardship tool or a stewardship training. But really talking about, so we're bringing in one of the top financial advisors in this country, Marcus Henderson, to help pour into us and give us strategies over 2 days. So those who want to register for those sessions, just on building Black wealth and for your family, different strategies on how to really do better with our resources.
Yes.
That's amazing. And it's thinking outside of the box and having unique sessions like those that really help not just pastors, but anyone there to go back to their place of worship and bring these innovative ideas to the forefront. And I'm going to once again speak from a clergy perspective, but you know when you're gaining something meaningful and powerful when the next Sunday when you get back to your church, you found that you're preaching better, you're learning better, you're teaching better, you're understanding better. Everything is just elevated in a way. And God First Holy Convocation allows people to step into their best self and to no longer be afraid or nervous about being innovative or trying something new or trying something different. And God First Holy Convocation just allows that spiritual freedom to just be you and step out of your own box and trust what God has for you.
And that becomes the expectation, from a lay perspective. When you leave God First, it's like, okay, so what have we seen that we're going to apply to what we do in our space?
Yeah, and this year we're hoping that when the last doxology is sung, that there's a spirit of lifting that not just resides in that center, but that fire also then kind of already is matched at those local churches.
Yes.
Because we want people to have a God First moment every Sunday, every time that they gather, so that worship is never the same, that we all have a fresh start, and that we are waiting to see what the pinnacle of what God is doing, like going higher and higher in God's glory. And as we not just go higher in worship, we go higher as a fresh start, a revolution, a rebirthing in how we do ministry and to do it effectively. So you all need to register. Register now. There are a lot of great people coming, a lot of great sessions. We talked about building Black wealth. It's also going to be like a whole Sunday school summit for those who are going to get their Sunday school back together. We're talking about worship by design. We're also giving out health information, valuable things that are there, that leadership skills and nuggets. So if you are a pastor, a leader, both lay member or a clergy person, don't want to miss these leadership nuggets that will transform your ministry as well as even in your business.
Yes.
It's going to be really great.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, the worship. Like, I'm just so excited about all of it. So please go to AME7.church and click on the God First Holy Convocation link, which will be right there on the whole homepage, and register today. We look forward to seeing you in Florence, April the 16th through the 18th. And remember that the best in Christ Jesus is always yet to come, and continue to put God first. Hey, welcome to Inside the God First Holy Convocation. We're discussing this meeting or conference or experience that was a vision of Bishop Samuel Green Sr. Still a vision given about 12 years ago. And now we are going into the 11th actual God First Holy Convocation. And wanted to discuss the idea of what a meeting is and what an experience is and what you can expect to receive from the God First Holy Convocation as we gear up for this year's conference in February. Oh gosh, in April. Man, let me tell you how this is going. And I'm going to let that blooper go because the fact is that life gets really, really busy.
It
And
does.
sometimes you get flustered. And the theme for this year is actually fresh start. And we need sometimes to like pause, set aside time, recalibrate, reset. And when we were thinking through the theme, was thinking through about this being the new decade, and not just really just like, oh, new year, new me, but really just like, okay, what does this mean for people's lives and purpose? Like the actual significance of a decade starting can mean like so many different things. We're talking about from 2020 to possibly 2030. Like, wow, like whoever thought, besides like I used to read or like watch a lot of cartoons with thinking about things in the future. And now when we see these the years, it doesn't seem so far off or so like out of our reach, to see like 2030 to be a thing, like to actually, thank God I'm not really in like grade school anymore to actually write the actual dates on the thing. Like 2030 seems so strange to do so. But here we are, and Fresh Start is the theme for this year. And I wanted to talk about what it's like to be an attendee, what the experience is like for the Holy Convocation. One of the meeting gurus said about sustainability that a meeting is both a noun and a verb. I put that on my Facebook status, and someone said that it's also a metaphor. And I didn't think about that as well, like a meeting. And I was like, But like the idea of meeting people, human interaction is still one of the most important things that can be transformative. And so when I think about or plan meetings, I think about human interaction for transformation. So like my whole, really my niche or my cliche is like transformation by design. And so as we design meetings or experiences, we design them for the intent of transformation. And that's really at the root of the God First Holy Convocation. A little bit about the history behind it is that particularly in our denomination, there are meetings that we are a denomination of meetings. Like what we do is we meet. We meet either on the local level or on another level of the church often. And so what we decided to do, or what Bishop decided to do, was to think about how those meetings could not just be a place where people gathered and they weren't transformed. Like there should be some type of exchange that happens, not just of information, but that when people leave, they're meeting together, that something is different. John Wesley started the whole holy conferencing before we even had annual conference. And so the idea of a holy conference was really more of an example of discipleship and evangelism, that it would gather all the people together within that circuit and within that community, and they would ask those questions about, that's where we got the hymn from, and are we yet alive? And so they would give a report or an account of their work throughout the year. So as I now like to look at them as an extension of evangelism and witnessing, like holy witnessing, we can't just do a meeting or a gathering and take it for granted that things are going to happen. So if a meeting is like boring or stale and just like it's no exchange, just kind of like inform people, but there's no experience or no spiritual mindset kind of put in place, then we just kind of like have just like wasted time and space. And so you all have been a part of the team now